Do you find yourself rustling a lot of papers in the IELTS reading section, trying to skim and scan for keywords, and just not finding the answers in time? Is 20 minutes not enough to finish the reading section? In this video, I will teach you the correct strategies to clear the IELTS reading and explain why skimming and scanning are ineffective. Let's begin. Although you may have heard from some people that skimming and scanning are good strategies to find the answers by looking for keywords like names and dates and high-level vocabulary, this is definitely not the primary strategy for those high-band 7, 8, 9 candidates. Certainly, IELTS teachers and examiners would not choose skimming and scanning as their number one method to clear the exam and get a perfect score. Why? The question types and the paraphrasing of the key words makes it virtually impossible to skim and scan for most of the answers. What do I mean by this? Well, when you have true-false not given questions, how do you skim or scan for information that is not given? You'll end up reading the text anyway to figure out that the information is nowhere to be found. Otherwise, you'll probably just get it wrong. When you have to match information to paragraphs, you might end up skim reading the entire passage to figure out that the first question is found in the conclusion. Simply, this is a waste of time. Does this mean that skimming and scanning are completely useless? Absolutely not. They can be useful as long as you do it with purpose. Simply put, there is just no way of getting around reading the passage. Even if you don't understand all of the information, you still need to take 7 to 8 minutes to read the passage. Even if you read the passage in 10 minutes, you will still have 10 minutes remaining to answer the 12 to 14 questions. An average of 1 minute per question is plenty to find the right answer. If you're not finding the correct answer on average within 60 seconds for each of the reading questions, the issue is not with your reading speed. It is more with comprehension. In this case, you need to focus your studies more on understanding the text. There are some very powerful strategies to do this, such as visualization and critical thinking. Engaging the information in the text, imagining that you are in the text. You can learn more about these strategies in your premium package at AEHelp.com for academic IELTS and GIELTShelp.com for general IELTS. When you click on the full interactive course, these strategies can be found in the beginning in Key Strategies. Once you improve your coherence score and you understand at least 60% of the text, you are well on your way to getting a band score of 6.5 or more. Let's take a look at a sample reading passage now for the right strategies and how to use skimming and scanning effectively. Technology in 2040. A. Introduction. Technology has transformed the way humans live their lives. Beginning with the advent of tools millions of years ago by humanity's common ancestors, the course of our shared history is a story of our increasing ability to harness the natural resources of our surroundings. We have come a long way from the early peoples discovering they could use heavy or sharp objects around them for hunting or war. Today, there are computers and smartphones and the internet. We are all connected. But what about 20 years from now? What changes can we anticipate in the coming decades? The first aspect of making predictions is that they are inherently fallible. That is, they are educated guesses at best. They are probably wrong, but they are still fun to make. Here are 5 predictions for Earth 2040. B. Internet integration. The Internet arrived in homes in the mid-1990s. Over the next quarter century, the Internet has been the venue and backdrop for so many technological developments. What was once limited to a computer connected to a frustratingly slow and unreliable phone line is today available anywhere given the right hardware and services. In the next 25 years, the Internet will become even more integrated into our lives. All of our devices will be connected, as they are beginning to be, in a network known as the Internet of Things. Capabilities like AirDrop on Apple mobile products will become commonplace. The ability to share in wireless ways may also extend to energy sharing. For example, if a remote control runs out of battery life, today you must change the battery. In the future, you may be able to simply download energy onto the device, or it may do so automatically. C. 3D printing. Currently, 3D printing is a promising but limited field. The future, however, is very bright for the technology. 2 decades from now, it may be possible to 3D print human organs using the patient's cells and DNA. This would eliminate the need for a genetic match and greatly simplify the organ transplant process. It may also be possible to 3D print human limbs, such as arms, legs, fingers, and toes, which may have been lost. D. A computer in your brain. This one's a bit out there. Imagine being able to surf the internet, check your social media, or find directions without consulting a device. Instead of a device in your hand, your brain would be your device. This level of integration is closer technologically than many people realize. One of the biggest hurdles, however, is the human fear of such change. It would take a brave person to be one of the first to have a computer inside their brain. E. Automated driving. In 20 years, the majority of cars on the road will be automated, and human-driven cars will be considered dated. While today they are a niche market, it is clear that artificial intelligence is well suited to the automobile industry. While there are safety concerns, these will be easier to overcome since human driving is such an inherently dangerous task to begin with. Automated cars have the potential to save over 1 million deaths per year. F. Gaming. Video games have come a long way from Pong in the 1970s and Super Mario in the 1980s. Today, games are incredibly immersive and virtually photorealistic. What will the next 20 years bring? Some futurists envision games that can harness gamers' energy, either as energy itself or in a proof-of-work fashion in the manner of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. G. Artificial intelligence. AI has been talked about for decades. Back in the 1960s, the popular American animated sitcom The Jetsons featured Rosie the robot who took care of housekeeping duties in the Jetsons' household. While there are no Rosies yet, and there may not be in 20 years, AI will still play a key role in the future. Already, digital assistants such as Siri are increasingly important in many people's lives. 20 years from now, the integration of digital assistants will be exceptionally larger and more significant. While they may not get us a cup of tea as Rosie would, they will do far more important tasks. 20 years is a long time from now. This text, written in 2020, will undoubtedly miss the mark in many ways. But the wonderful thing about the future is that it is changeable. It is not written yet. What words will you write? The types of paraphrasing strategies used by the exam makers to negate the shortcut of skim reading for keywords include synonyms, antonyms negatives, descriptive language, expressions, and grammar. Not only that, but they can even use a combination of these to make it more complicated to find the right answers. All that paper rustling is not only extremely exhausting and confusing for yourself, tiring your brain out, not just for the reading section, but also for the upcoming writing section. Just imagine how annoying it is for the person sitting next to you, especially if they're not doing the same. So make life easier on yourself and on the other people in the paper-based exam alongside you. Stop skimming and scanning as the main strategy to try to pass the reading section. Do this instead. Now that we have read the passage, we are ready to answer the questions. Reading passage 1 has 7 sections A to G. Which section contains the following information? Write the correct letter A to G in boxes 28 to 32 on your answer sheet. Note, by the way, you may use any letter more than once. 28. Fear of technology preventing its development. Okay, if I try to skim read for these keywords like fear or preventing, I will soon realize that it's not actually in the text. Rather, the concept of being scared of a certain type of technology is mentioned. And because I have read the text and visualized being a part of this technology, I imagined myself volunteering to have technology put into my brain. Now, as they were cutting open my head and placing a chip on the surface of my cerebellum, I definitely felt a lot of fear. So I know that this question is regarding computers in the human brain. Do I remember exactly which paragraph? No, I don't. But I do remember that it was somewhere in the middle of the passage. So with purpose, I go back and I look for the paragraph that talks about computers in the brain. In this way, I discover that the correct answer is D. If I'm simply skimming and scanning for this information, I have to get through paragraphs A, B, and C before I even approach the potential to get this answer correct. The way I just did it with purposeful scanning is much faster and way more efficient. 29. A brief description of the history of technology from prehistoric times to now. Ooh, the word prehistoric. I'm going to skim read for that. That must be a key word. And I'm skim reading from the very beginning. Prehistoric. But to my surprise, it's not there. Why? The answer is actually A. It's in the introduction. The exam maker has paraphrased the word prehistoric with the word humanity's common ancestors millions of years ago. If my mind is simply focusing on the word prehistoric, I might miss that and get really frustrated by the time I get to the end of the passage not finding the word prehistoric. Nevertheless, because I understand reading and essay structure, and I know that this type of information belongs in the introduction, I can look back and find the answer much faster. Millions of years ago by humanity's common ancestors. A. And I move on. Try the rest of these questions using these correct strategies with purposeful skimming and scanning. Go back in the video to check which paragraphs house the right response. Then we'll go on to the next question set. The following questions are summary completion. These types of questions are almost completely paraphrased from the passage. There are some hints on where you may find the information, but once more, skimming and scanning should not be your primary technique. Internet integration. Once reliant on a connection to a phone line, the internet is now available virtually. First, I want to answer this on my own, and then I look at the text. Virtually everywhere. Okay, this is related to the internet. We have the word virtually, so I can go back to the passage, and considering this concept, I can look for the right word. Once limited to a computer connected to a frustrating, slow, and unreliable phone line, is today available anywhere. Again, the word virtually doesn't appear, but by understanding the context, I know that the correct answer is anywhere. Instead of the word everywhere, I change it to anywhere to make sure I get the right answer, and then I go on. Over the next quarter century, the internet will become even more integrated into our lives. Eventually, all devices will be connected. That would be my answer. Now that I think the word may be connected, I can go back and check to see what it states in the passage. See if it's the same word or a similar word, like with the previous, everywhere and anywhere. In this way, once again, I'm skimming and scanning with purpose, and not just randomly looking for key words by looking at the questions. Skimming and scanning with purpose is a much more effective strategy than randomly looking for keywords. In this way, you should not run out of time, and you should be able to get those high band scores. For lots more videos like this one, visit and join our premium IELTS package at AEHelp.com or GLShelp.com. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. Use the code READ49 to get an extra 10% discount. Simply click the link in the video description. You will have access not only to videos, but to our apps, an interactive course, original practice exams, and lots more. We now even include premium student exclusive Zoom classes. It's a great time to join. Simply click the link in the video description below. Just listen to what this candidate has to say.
Hi, thanks to IEHelp materials, I got a 7 overall in the IELTS exam. Now I get to work in my dream job in any country that I choose. Thank you, IEHelp.
Begin learning for success. Join now. Subscribe to our channel. Click over here. Watch another video. Click right up here. And click our IELTS Hero to join our premium package and get access to all of our videos, practice exams, and a fully interactive course.